What's going on, everybody? Sean here, coming at y'all with a quick little video. Haven't had nothing out in a little while because, outside of the free agent stay or go, talking about a coordinator I know nothing about yet, just bullshitting you guys, putting up fake news or something. There really hasn't been much of anything to talk about. So, I've just kind of been keeping things quiet to this point, and trying to just see what's happening, that way when it's time to put out another video, I can put out something for you guys that I actually like. And so with that being said, obviously we've got a little bit of news coming, a lot of talks around Derrick Henry, a lot of talks around Saquon Barkley, talks about edge rushers, linebackers, a little bit of everything. So if you guys could hit the like button on this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Let it be known that I appreciate you guys more than you could possibly understand for staying with me through the highs and lows of this channel. And, I love y'all. It's that simple. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. One of the main things I want to talk about is going to be the running backs. Obviously, we have a lot more holes on this team. Corner is a question mark. We have no linebackers. Is Fletcher Cox gone? How does our defensive tackle depth look? How does our edge rusher depth look, with the changes at coaching? Obviously Vic Fangio coming in is going to change the way things are done. We're going to go probably back to more of a 3-4. So it really makes you wonder, where is our depth? Okay. Obviously corner is a question mark because Bradbury played so bad last year. Eli Ricks, Josh Jobe, Darius Slay, Keely Ringo, the guy that we got that was on suspension, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I feel fucking terrible for that one. I'm awful at this. The guy from the Colts who was gambling that we picked up last year, though, Rodgers, pretty sure it's Rodgers, Isaiah Rodgers, something like that. So we do have a little bit of depth there at corner, but, it's a lot of unknowns. It's a lot of unknowns on, who's going to do what in Philly, who can really help, who isn't going to help. Avonte Maddox is probably going to be a cap casualty this year because he hasn't been great. There's no depth at safety. So, we have a lot of holes. But the offense is going to win us a championship. If you look at what we did against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, the defense did us no favors. We got to make sure that we have an offense that we can rely on to score as many points as needed. Because Jalen, you take away that fumble, you put a field goal in that spot, and the game is totally different. Hell, even if we punt rather than giving up the fumble return for a touchdown, it's a totally different game. So I see a lot of people talking about keeping Swift. I see a lot of people saying that we need to bring in Derrick Henry. He's the X factor. I see a lot of people saying that we need Saquon for the same reason, but because he's younger. Personally, I don't think any of these are the right decision. Now, would I like to see Derrick Henry on a one-year deal? Absolutely. I think he would feast behind this O-line. Saquon Barkley, much the same, but I don't see Saquon taking another one-year deal. He's also been injured a lot, so you really kind of wonder, does he even still have it, or has he just been sandbagging his way through the New York season because, again, he doesn't want to get hurt. DeAndre Swift, he was kind of a terrible pass blocker that last year. A lot of people called him a dual threat. I know the offense doesn't exactly throw to the running backs, but Jalen doesn't really throw to the running backs. He didn't really in Doug's system. He didn't in Nick's system first year, and he didn't this year, so a lot of people are saying, oh, he wasn't really a dual threat because he didn't get targets out of the backfield, and as a runner, he was just okay. Well, guys, we can make excuses either way, all right? We can make excuses either way. We can talk about how it was the offense's fault. We can sit here and talk about how it's his fault. I didn't like him in pass blocking last year, and I think that's what really stopped him from being a 3-down back. I think what most people don't realize is the one thing Kenny Gainwell has done well for the most part is the pass blocking and stuff like that. Now, obviously, you can go look at PFF, you can go look at anybody's grades, and it's all going to tell you a different story. But what you really need to do is just watch the games. If you're a real Eagles fan and you want to really know what's going on, you just got to watch the games. Most people don't realize that if you do a second playthrough on most of these games, you're watching it a little bit differently. The anxiety and anticipation of not knowing what's going to happen next and yada, 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 it all goes away, and you tend to start watching your favorite players or your favorite position battles a little more, and you start to see things a little differently. Well, you know, look at DeAndre Swift. You know, also, people forget how injured he was, you know, before he got here. You sign him to a 3-year deal, blah, 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 and then he gets injured the first year, and then he's a cap casualty the next year. You know, there's no point. We need to draft a running back in rounds 2 through 3, 2, 3, 4, 2 through 4, 2, 3, 4, you know, somewhere in that area. You know, we need to go for someone a little bit better than Kenneth Gainwell, but it doesn't have to be a first-round pick. You look at someone like Jahmyr Gibbs this year, they paid a first-round pick for him, and there were guys in other rounds of the draft that did exactly what he did and more. Yeah, he was pretty good, but the point still stands. We need to draft a running back. We need a running back who we have control of, cheap, for 4 years. That's what's really important. That's what we really need right now. Yeah, a 1-year bridge running back, a Derrick Henry on a 1-year deal. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you can get him and he's willing to, then I would absolutely do something like that. But I'm still drafting a running back. Linebacker. With linebacker, there's been a lot of news floating around on who we're going to go after for linebacker. I say you give Nakobe Dean another chance. You bring in one mid-level free agent at linebacker. It ain't got to be the best guy, but it can't be the worst guy. It cannot be another Nicholas Moreau. Bring in another mid-level linebacker, and then go draft another one in the draft. And it doesn't have to be Trotter Jr. I'm sorry, guys. Trotter Jr. is not the best linebacker in this draft. If the best linebacker in this draft falls in your lap, Trotter's going somewhere else. You know, unless you want to draft him too, which I'm totally okay with. But I want to give Nakobe Dean another chance, and I want to bring in a mid-level guy off the street. That way we have some real competition. And I want the exact same thing at safety. Safety has to be the exact same thing. You have to draft somebody else. You need to bring a mid-level guy in. And now we've been good with drafting safeties. I think when Sidney Brown gets healthy, Reed gets into a better defense. I think him and Reed are going to be the safeties for a while, but you need more depth. You need more guys. And you also need to give them someone to help them grow and to not have to play every single snap. They're still young. They're still learning. I mean, you know, Reed Blankenship was an undrafted free agent. He's still learning. Offensive line, I think you need to prepare for Jason Kelce leaving, and I think you need to prepare for Real this time around. And, you know, a couple other holes here and there, but those are my main concerns right now, guys. Go ahead and comment down below. Tell me what you think. Once again, I appreciate y'all so much. I'll be back with another video, probably going to follow this one up, you know, within the day. We might have two coming out in one day, might do one today, one tomorrow, so we'll just see how it goes. But I love you guys so much. Please like if you haven't already, subscribe, and guys, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.